Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast here. I am with the legendary husband and wife duo from Leatherback Roasters, Nathan and Grace Frey. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having us.
Dude, our pleasure. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome in the sphere of coffee. You guys have started roasting for 4 years now. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just about.
So why coffee though? Why is coffee your creative outlet?
Yeah, both of us worked in coffee when we were younger. I worked in coffee in high school for a little while. I just loved our specialty coffee shop that we had nearby over in Oviedo.
Shout them out. Who is it?
It was Duo 58. It was a local shop that was the first specialty coffee shop in my area. That wasn't like in Orlando, I guess, and I lived in like a smaller side of town, and so they had like fresh baked goods in house, and they did catering, and they had a commissary kitchen, and I was just like very interested in what they're doing, so I asked if I could just like volunteer for a few weeks.
Oh wow.
And, they let me on, so I learned from their staff, and I actually did some catering jobs with them, and that was like my first intro to specialty coffee. And someone on the staff had just come back from some kind of like SCA training or something. So he also was like, I'm going to teach you how to cup coffees. I'm going to teach you the differences between coffees. And that's like where I really started to be interested in specialty coffee. But I've been drinking coffee since I was like 4 years old because my grandma put me on from a young age.
That's amazing. Like what was the coffee that grandma was giving you though?
Oh, it was probably Folgers or something like that. And then she would definitely mix in Nesquik. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, it probably tasted fantastic with Nesquik, some cream, some sugar.
It was pretty delicious. Yeah. She made it for me every time I went over, and she would call it Chit Chat with Nana.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Very cute.
Is Nana, can she come on my podcast or no?
Yeah, she can come on.
I want Chit Chat with Nana so bad. I love grandmas. They touch my heart. So, what about you? What was your journey into it?
Yeah, I got into coffee in college. I grew up in a very, very small town in Ohio, and there were a few.
On the ends and high in the middle, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there was actually a few coffee shops though in this very small town, and one of them was considered specialty, very third wave. And funny enough, the owner of the shop in this very small town in Ohio is actually the owner of Third Wave Water.
Oh, cool.
He started it while he was there at this cafe. So I was working there, and I really just kind of got interested. They were roasting there, so I got interested in the roasting process there. And then, after a couple of years of being a barista there, occasionally they would need a batch roasted, and I learned with the roaster that was there at the time. So that's kind of where I started, and roasting as well. And then we also met in college in Ohio in that same town, and everything that we did together was like always at a coffee shop.
That was my fault, I think.
That was your fault?
I was dragging him around to every specialty coffee shop. So the closest city would be Columbus or Dayton, and if we were ever in either of them, I would just be looking on Yelp to find the best coffee shop.
I mean, duh. Like coffee shops, they're the ultimate connectors. Everybody loves a good coffee shop. My wife doesn't drink coffee. You guys just met her. Does not drink coffee at all. But when we go somewhere, she knows that I'm going to go to coffee shops, but she enjoys the ambiance of them. And she owns more coffee t-shirts than I do, because every time we go, I will spend $20 on coffee. Yep. She'll spend $20 on a coffee t-shirt because they're soft.
Yeah.
And they are.
Yeah, and they are, yes. So it's like she owns like 7 of each ones that Elevation has ever come out with. She just wears them around. So people are like, oh my gosh, have you had that place? She was wearing like a Relampago one from like St. Augustine one day, and she was like, I don't even remember where I got this. She was like, it's just soft. So yeah, coffee shops, ultimate date spot, I think.
For sure. And great homework spot for college students. So that's where we were most of the time.
Yeah, sorry to everywhere I camped out.
Oh, no. You tipped well, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Sure, yeah, college students have so much money to tip, right?
At least I got a few drinks, probably.
Yeah. So that brought you into wanting to start your own coffee. Like the love of the cafe, the coffee experience and stuff got you into roasting, though. I know you worked a little bit with that roaster guy, but you didn't have any experience with the roasting side. You felt like more of I'm the coffee girly. Let's go to the shops and have the drinks. What got you interested in what he's interested in on the roasting side?
So he had started roasting at Telemetry, like he was mentioning on that Frankenstein roaster that they kind of built out for that shop.
Never heard of that brand, Frankenstein.
Yeah. He has an Ambex shell with custom built burners and its own like roasting software that should not have fit on this 90s Ambex, but
I am here for innovation. I love people who can adapt and just do the funniest things with those. Like, didn't mean to interrupt, but like even back in the day when I was going to a coffee shop at the time, their power was out, and this lady came in who gets the same thing every single time. I remember this lady, cortado every time. So she was like a little upset she was not able to get her afternoon cortado, and he was like, "Ma'am, I got you." Made an AeroPress of it. He steamed some milk real quick because there's still enough steam pressure in the thing. And he actually made a little cortado out of an AeroPress. And I was like, that's adaptability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if anything in coffee, we adapt. Because coffee is, again, just this instrument, I think, for creativity. It fuels us for our creativity as well. So I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so you had gotten interested in roasting from that experience, and you asked me to get you an air roaster for your birthday.
Ooh, why an air roaster?
Super cheap.
Okay.
Like
Very
probably
low-
like $50 or something.
Very low barrier to entry of just like wanting to roast for ourselves at our apartment.
Yeah.
I think it was on Amazon, no name brand, meant for popcorn,
Yeah.
but it got the job done.
It at least rotated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And heated some beans, yeah.
And we had just been given a Breville for our wedding gift.
That's a great wedding gift.
From
Oh my
my
goodness.
grandma, from Nana.
Grandma is a legend. I'm not
She
going to lie. I
is.
need to meet Grandma one day.
Yeah.
So we were roasting our own coffee, like probably terribly, but it was still the freshest coffee around and better roasted than some of the options that we had access to. So we were making that on the Breville, and I thought it tasted actually pretty great. So
I bet. Like, and you were probably like, at that time, where were you sourcing your coffee from?
Man, this like really small dose green supplier called Coffee Bean Corral.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, very small. And I think I just had Googled at the time like green coffee for home roasters, and they sold it as, I think, as low as like £1. So
That's kind of like how I started. It was more of the experience back. I was not a good student, so I was in and out of college multiple times, and I grew up just like you said with coffee as a thing. But it was always like it was either whatever was on sale. Cafe Bustelo, Folgers, Maxwell House was always in the house, and my mom would make us make her coffee for her, but we'd always steal sips of it. It would a ton of cream and sugar because she smoked cigarettes too, so she had something that masked the cigarettes for it. But we loved the cream and sugar taste of this, so we've always kind of had coffee. But coffee was like that necessity in college. I needed an all-nighter because I worked full-time. I paid my way through college, and we were just drinking bad coffee because we had to stay awake. And then my wife, she was already graduated and had a big girl job and all these things. She's carrying the load for me while I'm still in college and trying to figure things out. Still didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. And my brother-in-law and I were taking some overlapping classes. So I was in the engineering program at USF. He was in the architectural program. So we had some math classes that overlapped. But they're at night. We both worked full time. So we're like, cool, let's do this. Let's argue over where we're going to get coffee because we're both exhausted because everywhere sucks anyways. So my wife's birthday rolls around. We go to Burns Steakhouse of all places. We go to the dessert room because we couldn't afford the steakhouse. So we had a cheap dinner somewhere, dessert room at night, order a cup of coffee like you do with that, and bring it out. The lady's like, oh, I'll bring the cream and sugar in a minute or whatever, but go ahead and try it now. I was like, all right, I don't like coffee. I don't think so. I took a sip of it, though, and I was like, whoa, what did you do? This is palatable. She's like, you've probably never had freshly roasted coffee before. I'm like, what does that mean? And she literally showed us the coffee roaster they have at Burns Steakhouse, and just like, hey, this is a green bean. We throw it in here, do that. The next day, my brother-in-law and I were looking up coffee roasters, bought one, put it in my mother-in-law's garage, hit up Sweet Maria's because you could buy 1 pound at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And left and right, we were just, oh my gosh, just the blueberries. What'd you put blueberries in my cup? He's like, what are you talking about? I didn't put anything in your cup. Okay, this one tastes like dirt. Never buying that one again. So same thing. We had the little popcorn roaster style, but it was, you were getting the nuance of the bean at the time, and whether it was bad or good depending on the actual origin, not on your roasting qualities.
Yeah.
Because they would always say, roast it to City Plus or whatever, which are terms that most people don't use anymore. So it's cool to see other people who've started on that same track,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we were just having a blast, like, ordering different types of grain from this company, like longberry, peaberry, different varieties, Castillo, I think at one point we even bought like a geisha just to try it out.
Yep. Same.
So that's how we got started in our own roasting.
Because the geisha ruined you. And
Yeah,
you needed more
exactly.
of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And eventually we moved on to, we were like, let's get serious and buy another roaster. So we spent like $400 as opposed to like $50, and we got like this little Caldi sample roaster off of Amazon that did like 300 grams at a time.
Just hooked it up to propane, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
hooked it up to propane over like a fish fryer.
It's a retail bag.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah. No, well, not even, because
An 8-ounce retail bag.
yeah, exactly. And at that time we were like, man, we're cooking, because we were like selling it to friends and family on pay what you want. Yeah, and then for us at the time it didn't fill a retail bag, so then we bought a 600-gram sample roaster.
Whoa.
So
I love the stepping stones
Yeah.
you guys have done.
I know.
It's methodical in a way,
Yeah.
It's I think it's something that most people would resonate with. Like, what's the next step on my journey? Because I didn't take next steps. I was too scared to, honestly. Like, when I roasted in the garage, I was fine having coffee in my house, but I loved this thing that I was doing and couldn't figure out how to make a living doing it at the same time. So I was never willing to take that leap. What got you guys out of that, like, the fear? Did you guys never have fear over it?
I know you know this, but part of it for me, I think I was a little desensitized to it because I grew up around family businesses. On both sides, both my grandparents own their own business, so we've got like a
Grandma
realty.
owns a business too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So my
Grandma, if you're watching, come talk to me.
Hannah, we love you.
she was a roaster too.
Yes. So I don't know. I thought maybe I told you this.
My wife's sorry. I'm in love with this grandma right now.
So my grandparents lived in Daytona Beach, and they started a nut roasting business, and that's what I grew up around. So we had like caramel glazed peanuts with cinnamon, sugar. Oh my gosh, it smelled amazing, and everything was so fresh. Like literally straight out the roaster, they'd be throwing it in the sugar and just giving me a bowl, and I would sit
just
there.
warm.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And like, yeah, it just smelled amazing and tasted amazing. And then we'd have like the little samplers that we'd be giving out, and she wanted me to sit on the counter because I was like 4 years old, and of course they want their 4-year-old to like be doing all the marketing, so they had me up on the counter with a little microphone.
You were their
like,
Gerber baby, essentially.
yes. So I grew up around family business, and I kind of was like, like, the sky's the limit. We can do this if this is what we want, because I'd seen it done before. And then on my other grandparents' side, they had a realty business, and my grandma, who's in her 90s, still is running that business because she doesn't know how to not go to work. She just wants to do
That's
that
going to be
every
me
day.
one day. My wife would retire 10 years ago if she could. I love what I do. I want to keep doing this till the day I die. I joke, I'm like, I want to have a heart attack in the middle of pouring a latte or something. Not in the roasting, but just my burn down after that. Oh my gosh. At least, let me drop it first so I go out like perfect roast out.
My masterpiece. Yeah.
Yep.
So although I'm not the one roasting, I've been around roasting, and eventually I do want to get into roasting. But that's kind of what, for me, encouraged me to be able to encourage him to be like, you should just take the leap, because finances, eventually we can recover them, and like, if this doesn't work out, but what if it does?
Money's not even real.
It's all invented. So we both had jobs at the time, and so that's kind of what was funding our business.
Yes. So when we were in college, we were both studying to be graphic designers. And so right out of college, those are the jobs that we got. We were working in design. And so we kind of had that as like what was funding the beginnings of this business. I mean, back then, it was the big leap to, do we pay $2,000 for this 600-gram roaster? That's a big purchase. And then, we got to buy the green that's, a couple $100 at a time. So, I mean, for us back then, that was like the risk, but we had jobs that we could, pay ourselves or pay our rent and bills and, have a little bit of extra money to throw at this business. And it was a risk, but it wasn't anything too wild.
It's just sacrifices. You just maybe don't eat out as often, or maybe you don't buy the PlayStation 5 when it comes out or something.
Right.
It's the sacrifices to build a future for you. Yeah, which I think is very inspiring. Like, I wish I made those moves when I was your age, right? Like, I was still struggling through college, honestly, like getting kicked out of the engineering program and then figuring out what program to go into and C's don't get degrees in college, you know. It's if I would have been taking that time and investing those things into something else, but I didn't know that stuff existed. A little older than you guys, and so it's so encouraging to see the younger people doing these things right off the bat. But to talk about your graphic design career, that's another creative outlet. That's so cool. You guys do your own design work then for?
Yeah,
we do. Yeah,
everything pretty much is in house. We had one T-shirt that I'm wearing designed from a guy that we really liked out in California, and he made our turtle. That's our logo. So we ended up
made the actual turtle.
We kept that, but like our typography is all custom made that I made when I was like 21 years old.
See, that's part of the story. I think so cool. Even like most of our design work is done in house as well. Esteban does most of it, but we have since had to branch out because he's taken on more responsibilities, and we hire a regular that comes in. So at least it's attached to the business, right? But it's so cool to have that whole story of like, oh my gosh, yes, this new label or this new logo, whatever it is going to probably be designed by one of you two, right?
Yeah, every time in our website, I designed the whole thing and coded some back end stuff. And
oh my gosh.
All the SEO is me right now.
I did not do that. Do not know how to do that. I took an HTML class in like 1999, but I don't think that's relevant today. I have no idea.
Maybe somewhat.
Yeah, I don't even know if I remember it. So
yeah, that was a big help for us getting started, and it's still obviously a big help for us now. Like, I mean, it's a blessing. We don't even have to think about that side of, you know, outsourcing any sort of design. We just do it all ourselves, and then like that definitely plays into marketing as well. Like, we do a lot of our own marketing, and we, you know, took marketing classes along with our design program. So getting started, we didn't really have to invest too much in that. We were able to kind of
I already
do it
had
ourselves.
the Adobe Suite on my computer, so that wasn't a business expense. It's like I was already freelancing, contracting as a graphic designer, so just went ahead and used the tools I had, I guess. That's how we got started pretty quickly, I would say, because I just opened up Shopify. I was like, I've already designed websites for other people.
Oh wow.
Let me just go ahead and design my own website. And it was bare bones. It was not very pretty, but it functioned, and people were able to check out and make like purchases on our website. And usually it was friends and family getting started though.
That's so cool. So what's a typical day at the roastery look like? You guys show up at the same time, separate times? You have separate duties? Like how does that work?
So we're a one-car family. Actually, part of the sacrifices we made buying a first roaster is we sold his car and became a one-car family. So
huge.
Yeah. It was a choice, but one that I'm happy we made. And so we show up together at the roastery, and basically we go to our stations. You go to the roaster, and then I go over to my sorting and bagging.
How early do you guys start? What's a typical day? It's nighttime, daytime?
Now it's daytime, thank God.
Okay.
Because we were working in the nights after our shifts. Like, I was working as a barista too, like when we got started initially.
Oh, wow. Which shop did you work at?
Pallet in Sanford, Florida. So it was a smaller shop, and they now have 2 locations. But nice. I was working, I would get off my shift, go to work at night. Sometimes we'd pull all-nighters. So now, very thankful that our lives look a little different. 3 months ago, you were able to leave your job.
Congrats, that's huge.
Thank you. Yeah.
And now I've worked full time for I think 2 years now at Leatherback. So
did you give a big speech when you left? Where you just kind of like, you know, I'm out. See you guys. Who's coming with me?
Hey, you did tell them about the business.
I did. Yeah, it was a fully remote job, so I think I sent an email.
Was you in person?
I think maybe we had a morning call and I said goodbye, but it was actually. I didn't even quit. We were an agency that was letting go a lot of people, so it wasn't even just me. So
you're like, this is my cue.
Yeah,
this is my out right now.
But I mean, I was like, okay, all right, this is my sign, I guess, to jump full time into our business.
Dude, that's good. Like my story is like kind of similar to that. When I finally decided to do it, I went to my boss, God rest his soul. It's like, hey, I'm putting my 6-month notice in, and I was like, felt like that was very generous, right? 6 months, I can train who's ever coming up. And he wasn't happy with that though. He was just kind of like, he told me no. Like he goes, no, you need to stay. I'm like, no, I'm leaving. I'm going to do this thing. He's like, you know, they're not going to let me replace you though. They're just going to make me do all your work. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, but I have to do this, you know? Long story short, 3 months into my 6-month notice, the new board of directors came on, new VP of HR, wanted to make an example out of me, I guess. I don't know. And decided to let me go. And it was one of those things that at the time was kind of like jarring. But the guy who owned the company, Scott Strady, shout out to you. He pulled me into his office. We talked. He actually helped me brainstorm, like narrowing down the name of Mike's. I didn't even come up with a name yet. He was so excited to watch me do this thing, and he didn't know this was kind of out of his control. And at the time, they were trying not to give me a severance for it either, too. And he fought and got me my severance.
Nice.
But also helped me come up with the name, and then also like basically had a blank check ready to be my first wholesale partner to have the coffee served in the break rooms there. So huge shout out to him. I thank him for that. But yeah, that was a wild time. Like, through all of that, I felt like they were just trying to do this thing where, to me, I was just employee ID number such and such. You make this, you should be making this. We're going to get rid of you because we got to cut payroll, and we heard you were leaving anyways, type thing.
Yeah.
At least that's what it felt like to me. I don't know if that's the exact story. That's kind of what I got from the background. And through that, though, going back to, that's what I was kind of like, no, I've been here long enough. I'm going to go talk to this guy real quick. And I got to give a proper goodbye to my team. A lot of tears, a lot of friends with a lot of them still. A lot of them still come support my coffee shop, which is cool. Shout out to y'all that do. All that don't, dead to me. Just kidding, not really. But the ones that do are the real ones. And, two of my best friends to this day came from that job and everything. So I don't regret any of the decisions there. Just, I got to leave, and then if I would have waited the 6 months, I would never have found my first location. That would have been snatched up. Like, I was able to go, like, find this location now and be like, oh, it's available. Let me put a letter of intent on it. And, thankful for that HR lady who wanted to make an example out of me for letting me go early, I guess.
Yeah, there you
Totally.
go.
So,
It's weird how the timing works out sometimes.
I mean, God has different plans for us, I guess. It's
Yeah.
like, I wish he started my plan when I was 21 in coffee, but
There you go.
it happened this time for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
And my goal is to live to 121 though, so I'll get those years back later on
Yes.
in life. That's the goal.
And I like, this couldn't have happened to a better time for us as well, because like we're super appreciative for that job. It's actually an agency here in Tampa, even though we live in Orlando. But like, without me having that full-time job for the first however many years, like, we probably wouldn't have been able to do our business, because we didn't take out like loans or things like that. We just like kind of had that safety net to fall back on, like, okay, we've got bills, like we can cover our bills with our income from this job, and then on the side we can put all the money that the business makes like right back into the business and really help it grow. And then just right when the timing lined up of me getting let go, that's when we kind of felt that security finally from the business of being like, oh, I think we can support ourselves from this now. So like, the timing couldn't have been better.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's, you get to chase your dream. You get to do it at a younger age than most people get to. Like, you hear all the stories of like, it's never too late, right? Which is a great thing for people who got older and didn't do it, but it's also like, it could be a crutch for a younger person to be like, well, Orville Redenbacher didn't do it till he was 54. I got time. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you don't. Like, if you can chase it now, we got this one life on this planet. Deep down in our souls, we want to create, we want to have community, and you guys found it in coffee, and that's great. And I found you guys through a cupping that Florida Coffee Culture, which is another community project to put it together. And sadly, none of them barely even got to come to the cupping, but it was such a great cupping when the community had coffees on the table. First time I got to taste you guys' coffees. And I heard nothing but good stuff about you guys, because Eleanor raves about you guys so
I
much.
love her.
Eleanor, shout out to her too.
That's my girl.
The best. And from there I was like, something cool about these two. I want to keep in contact somehow and stuff. And seeing like the Instagram posts and everything, especially you, Grace, I tell you all the time, like, I know you're not an influencer because we don't like that word here, but you do influence people, and I think you should keep doing it because you're really good at it, because it doesn't come off bad or cringy either. So keep doing
thank
it.
you.
And we need more Nate videos too.
Yeah. We're getting it.
Oh yeah, we just got him finally in a video, and it was.
I know.
Did you see it? Yeah.
Yes.
Dialing in your espresso.
I tell this, and of course people then throw it back on me, which is why I'm on video more lately, and I hate it. I'm always like, the people want Esteban. The people want, as I did it because I was like, no, the people want our staff. They love the people behind what we do. The information is needed, and it's just the vessel you need to get from it is not sometimes in text. It is in you delivering it or you delivering it.
Yeah.
And I think people resonate with that big time. It's something I had to learn as a almost 44-year-old man that has to be on the internet now doing these things, you know, like, hey, this isn't for me, it is for my business and for the people out there who have these questions and they don't know how to get the answers to them. So let's just throw it out there. So you guys are doing great with it. So
thank you, and you too.
No, I'm trying, girl. I'm trying.
I'm loving seeing the videos coming out of this.
It's a lot of delete, redo.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I started 25 times. I said 54 times.
Totally.
Oh man, yeah.
Don't we know it?
Yeah. The ums are the worst. I can do the likes all day long. I don't mind that as much. It's the ums that get me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just kidding.
You know, I did cut us off about telling our day in the life at the Roastery.
Yes, I was just about to get back to that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's probably my fault. So.
Yeah, we go to our separate stations when we get there, and that's usually around 8 or 9. We've been trying to get there earlier if we can, but our pickup hours usually start around 10 a.m. and go till around 5. So we've got people coming in and out of the Roastery all day long, so we just got to be there. So
is this a Monday to Friday thing?
Usually, yes. Right now, we're usually there Monday through Friday.
That's a good problem to have.
And then pickup hours are usually from Monday to Thursday, and then Friday is like a content day.
Friday we reserve to be like, do we need to make content? Do we need to catch up on
TikTok dances, stuff like that? Yeah,
exactly. We're doing all those.
I can't wait to see more Nathan on TikTok.
Well, they're recorded. They're just not.
They're like deleting right now. You're like throwing that SD card far away.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went.
So right now, our days are heavy roasting days because we have an undersized roaster for where we're at right now.
It's not the 600 gram one still, is it?
It's not the 600 gram one. We did make the leap to a 3 kilo Mill City back in 2022.
Wow. So what size batches are you doing? You're not going full 3 kilo in it, are you?
No. I do about a 2.6 size batch.
Okay, cool.
So it's about a 5-pound batch, which is way too small for our what we need. So
it's like kind of scary every time I hear that number out loud. I'm like, you did how many batches today?
Yeah. You're like, oh gosh, we have to roast hundreds of pounds and do 5 pounds at a time. And it's like not just the roasting the 5 pounds. It's like you need 5 pounds of roasted coffee. You're not getting that with 5 pounds of coffee.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So someone actually, we've been meaning to buy a new roaster for years, and we just did.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It's being built. We bought a Typhoon. It's being built in the Czech Republic in Prague. It's an electric air roaster. We're super stoked about it. It's a 5 kilogram batch size, which doesn't sound like a big upgrade. But the electric roasters can basically cut the batch time in half. So the efficiency per hour is like basically 3 times as much.
That's amazing.
So for us, it'll really help with the roasting efficiency and speed, and
we're getting 2 content days of
exactly. Yeah, more TikTok dances. So we're really stoked about that. And someone had put it in perspective for me. I can't remember who it was, but they basically said, like, if your business were to double in size today, like, what would be the first thing to break? And for us, that was such a no-brainer that it was roasting, because we were already like pushing ourselves to our limits on what we were doing now. So we're like, well, how are we going to grow if we basically have no room for growth? So that was what pushed us to finally just go ahead and make the big scary purchase of our new roaster.
Yeah.
So,
and in the Roastery, I mean, like we had to talk out there earlier, it's constant scary purchases, right? It's in order to grow, we have to be the ones as roasters. This isn't a woe is me. This is just the natural state of it. Is we have to buy the bigger roaster to potentially go after the bigger wholesale. We have to buy the more green to potentially go after the other ones, because you don't have the confidence. Not a confidence. It's you want to back your words. We are people. I think especially in coffee, a lot of honest people. We want our word to be true. We don't want to oversell something if we can't do it. So on the roasting side, we take on a lot of the brunt of that work. The importers and farmers and stuff too. But on the roasting side, people don't understand what goes through that roasting process. So that's why I wanted to talk how does that day look. So, and then in that split where you have your stations, you're on the roasting side, I would assume. Does that include you're the one weighing out the green? You're kind of because you both have allergies to green coffee, which is crazy.
Yeah, We're wearing our respirators now. That's like a new thing that we started doing.
Long sleeves probably too.
Yeah,
Yes.
long sleeves. Considering
Hazmat
getting
suits.
the full what do you call them?
The
The
Dickies.
Dickies.
Yeah.
Suits, yeah.
Just put onesies on at this point. And
Yeah,
call it a
exactly.
day, you know.
Yeah,
Yep,
our
yep.
PPE. So yeah, I'm on the roasting side. So we used to have it set up where the green was like across the room. So it was silly. So we moved it around. So now I've got the green by me. I'm scooping the green and roasting. And then usually at the same time I'm roasting, I'm like planning our next green buying and inventory, replying to new wholesale emails, things like that.
So you've got like a
And
computer
so,
set up over there, yeah.
Yeah.
And what does your station look like?
So I've got like a shelf over a table, and the shelf has labels hanging down from it, and then I've got like different drawers that have different stickers and things that go onto our bags, and then across the way from me, behind me, is all of our bags, different sizes and different bins. So I'll be running
So is
back
it just
and
like a
forth.
little nook you just kind of turn around and grab stuff, or do you have to get up and walk?
I have to get up
over?
and walk
Oh, okay.
across the roastery. There's not a great way unless we were to put it like right in the floor, because
Oh,
it is
gosh,
like
yeah,
kind
no.
of a big way, like a big hallway to walk through every time I need to grab something. But our green storage is also like, he's got green that's open near the roaster, and then the other green is like behind me. So there's the four corners of the roastery, and in the front when you walk in, there's the sink, and then there's my station, then there's green storage, and then in the front is the
Oh,
roaster.
gosh.
So it's kind of like a long warehouse, like a big rectangle.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm like running around a little bit, and then you were too until you moved the green, which was very smart, I think, so you don't have to
Good
just
move.
carry that around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm over there. I'm also replying to emails, and I've like got like almost like a standing desk situation. That's how tall the table is, and I'm labeling bags for hours usually at the beginning of the week, getting ready to just bag the coffee. And then I also have like a little Akaya Orion situation for weigh fill right now.
Okay.
So that's how I'm weighing out 12-ounce bags, like 10 or 100-gram bags too, for our sample packs that we sell. And just getting to work, putting my head down. Headphones are on. We're listening to music or podcasts. Sometimes like the Valor Coffee podcast. Love them.
Or watching an Orlando Magic game if it's in the
Yes.
daytime
If
somehow.
it's late night.
As we are, and
It's
we
been
are
done.
there. We are there pretty often at night, and I'm like, thank God there's a Magic game, because that's something to look forward to. And you hear me because I got my metal table, and I'm like banging on the table. I'm like,
Oh
go
my gosh.
Magic! I'm like,
Gotta dump that. What are you doing?
so exciting. But yeah, so I've got different tools and scoops and different sizes of scoops, and I've got this big white tray that I use to sort through coffee, and I usually do that a few pounds at a time, just
So
quickly.
you got headphones in too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! So when somebody walks in, you both just startled because you can't hear anything that's going on.
So we are in a very industrial area. So most of the time our door is locked because we get so many solicitors. So what we have is I've got a camera set up by the door, and then we put a little sheet out that says like, sorry, give us one moment if you're here. But usually I'll see someone walk up to the door and I'll go grab the door.
Yeah, we've got a camera that notifies you on your phone if there's
Okay,
motion,
cool.
so we like run out there. But it is like, if we don't see you, please just text this number and we'll be right out.
So I've had that where I'm like roasting in here. It's a big. We leave it open for people to kind of come in and out. I have my headphones in. Same. I'm just focused, right? I'm trying to get through 100 pounds in an hour on this thing, and somebody will walk over and they just tap me on the shoulder because it's like a regular phone at my locations or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like
You're
Yeah.
so locked in, you can't hear anything, and
Nope.
you can't see them, and
Yeah.
it's just startling. And that used to happen. We had someone renting space from us, and they would come in and scare the crap out of me every
Yeah.
time.
Thank goodness I didn't get the crap scared out of me, but it is also like and I feel like I'm rude to them by like being a little startled by it, and I want to
Right.
chit chat with them because I love my people and stuff. To I'm also like I've got to watch this roast, and I got to make sure that
Yeah.
I don't have any flicks or dips, you know.
Totally.
And occasionally what will happen is if we like forget to lock the door, it leaves unlocked or whatever, I'll be roasting and then someone will be like, who's your mobile provider, bro?
Oh, gosh.
While you're roasting.
Yeah.
And
Car
it's
warranty.
always,
Yeah, exactly.
every time we leave the door unlocked, it was happening every once in a while, and it would be like the door was unlocked for 20 minutes, and somehow they would come at that time.
Oh, they're like you got scoping you out.
Oh,
You know? They're
probably,
just like,
yeah.
what's going on?
And then-
open, go.
Handing us pamphlets like, if you want a different warehouse that's bigger,
Oh my gosh.
here you go. I'm like, okay, we're not in the market for that right now.
Yeah.
So being in the warehouse space, AC'd? Is it, or is it like old school warehouse? Is it like comfortable? Like what's the things you like and the things you hate about being in a warehouse space? That's obviously like, I think it's shared walls with other people, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've got AC in there. Luckily, that was a big deal for us when we were looking for warehouse spaces, because we had been roasting in our garage, and that was so hot, and I was like, we just can't do that.
It gets hot with AC when you're roasting too.
It does, yeah. Yeah, the AC
Living
in
in
the summer,
And living in Florida,
it can't really keep up, but it helps.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice, and obviously having the big open space is nice for storage and just production stuff. No windows though.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it could turn nighttime. You don't even know.
Yeah. So we have like one front office that has some windows, but like in the warehouse area.
And they're pretty tinted
Nothing.
too, so it's not like it's letting like tons of light in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That is the biggest drawback. Is like you gotta take breaks and then just go walk outdoors every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Touch grasses.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Get some sunlight, some vitamin D, whatever it is. You know, you gotta have it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. You just gotta
Yeah.
walk outside sometimes.
I'll take an apple with me to work, then I'll go outside and eat my apple, and that's my break, you know?
There you go. And then you
Out in
crack
the
loose
sun.
and get back to work.
Yep, yep,
Get some beans to sort.
Yeah.
yep.
So I know the story, but what's this? Some scary stuff has happened in your warehouse too. Like
Oh.
not just solicitors walking up.
Oh
But
no, sharing walls. Yeah, as you know, we've had forklifts coming through our walls now twice. So 2 out of 3 neighbors.
Once is enough. Oh, 3. Don't jinx it. You're 2 out of 3.
I
Not
don't
the third
think-
one's gonna happen.
I
Like,
don't think they have a forklift. It's like an 80-year-old woman who just like does her own thing and leaves. So
Okay.
I'm very thankful that she probably is not driving a forklift. But if she is, then I would be worried.
Oh, please.
Yeah. If she ever gets on a forklift, it's almost bound to happen.
Yeah, she's probably gonna borrow the neighbors and be like, "You guys both can. It's my turn now, right?
Yeah.
Go right through this wall."
Oh yeah. So we've navigated having to get the wall fixed, having someone else, dealing with that, paying for it, and
Were you inside when it happened?
the second time we
The
were.
second time.
What the heck? What was? Did you hear it with your headphones on? Was it?
Yes.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did, and then like I vaguely saw it out of the corner of my eye, like the wall just like kind of shake.
Oh my gosh.
And I was
It
like,
was loud, yeah.
What was that? And then I look up, and of course, yeah, the wall's like split.
So we don't roasters. We don't have to worry about constant green going up, the market change and fluctuations, just the economy in general, tariffs, those things. We have to worry about forklifts coming through our warehouse
Yeah,
wall now. Like,
exactly.
Come on.
I mean, you would think that after the first time that was the only time it would happen, but that guy didn't even know he did it either. Somehow, on his side of the wall, it didn't quite look like it.
So he
but it
says
came-
for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
The first time it happened, I think, was within like the first couple months of us being in this space.
But
Someone drove to a roaster.
That's a good story though, because he ran the forklift through the wall and then he owed us essentially. And because of that, he felt so bad. He let us use his box truck to pick up our
Aw.
roaster from our house and move it into the roastery.
That's nice.
So
Yeah.
that was actually pretty great. And then he fixed the wall too. So
See, that's the way it should be. Okay, like
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of like just the old school like barter or like I messed something up, let's fix it type thing. But every nowadays, once I'm a lawyer, whatever it is, and it's just kind of like no, like we're neighbors, we're friends. I got to see you every day. Like
Yeah.
there's a solution to this problem that's easy to get to. We just have to do a little work and a little. Let me borrow something, and I think that's neighborly. I like that. I
Yeah,
think
that's
good,
great.
yeah.
And we've had a great relationship ever since. So
See, and if it would have gone a different route, might not have been the same relationship. So
Yeah.
shout out to him for that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really good for him. So one of the questions that I think is really cool of what you guys do, what is it like working with your spouse? Like,
Yeah.
and is it a, obviously it's a blessing, but are there stressings that come with that too? Like, I mean, it's got to be like, if my wife and I work together, like I've said before, she would probably strangle me at some point because first off, I don't shut up. Secondly, I'm just ADHD energy all the time, and she just wants to be like calm and centered and under a blanket and watching Gilmore Girls. So
Yeah.
as she should,
as she should, as she deserves.
Yeah, I mean it's hard when we disagree about something, and it's hard to turn off work. I think those are the two main things, because we're just like constantly thinking of things. So as we're driving home, I'm like trying to be like, oh, and we need to do this and this, and he's like, all right, this is our drive home. Let's transition into like we're going to eat dinner.
He passive aggressively turns the music up.
Yeah. He's like puts his headphones on. You're like, wait, you're driving.
Yeah.
But I mean,
for the most
overall,
part, though, it's great.
we're besties, like truly, and I just think it's like great that we get to spend every day together. For
I
a
love
while
it.
there, when we got married, he was gone at this job that kept him like sunrise to sunset. Didn't see him all day, and I was working home alone by myself the whole week. So it'd just be like me. He'd come home, go to sleep. He's exhausted, and I would be like just sad that we didn't get that time together.
Yeah.
So like, you know, the weekends we try to like maximize that. But now that we get to work together, I'm like just trying not to take it for granted. You know?
Absolutely, I love that. And there's a lot of times you just called grandma up and chatted grandma up.
That's
what I would have
yes,
done.
I did. I did. Called her up and we do coffee
That's what
and
grandmas are for.
talk. She has our coffee, of course. So,
Of course.
But she's got it in the freezer, so she'll never run out.
I
That's
love
how she
that.
does it. She orders
She's
it
ahead of the
ground,
game, you know?
puts it in the freezer. Yeah. So she's
Yeah.
like, my freezer supply is running out. I need 5 more bags. I'm like, girl, you could just order one at a time. I'll ship it to you, no cost. Like,
Grandma, I got you. Okay, yes, take care of you. So, and back a little bit on the roasting side, do you have like a philosophy or like a person that you've really looked up to in like the roasting game, whether it be local or nationally or across the world? Like even me, like when I first started, like I was a big Tim Windowbow fan. I was like, oh my
Totally.
gosh, I gotta know about what he does and how he works, you know, with the farmers and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that was like one of my first big like influences, but it was because I also tasted his espresso when I was in Brooklyn one day, and I was like, this coffee just blew my mind. What is this? Like, it's Tim Windowbow. I'm like, who?
So
What?
cool.
Yeah, literally. I just literally Googled it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm buying everything from him. He has podcasts. I have to absorb all of that, and then I got into Scott Rayo and stuff.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got into coffee, and even like, well, I mean, even now, one of my favorite roasters was Heart Roasters in Portland. And so I was always just like, you know, very much into traceability and the origin of coffee, and, you know, not doing the full city plus thing, like just roasting the coffee well. Usually it's a lighter development just to like let the coffees shine. So yeah, Heart Roasters was always like a big inspiration on like style of roasting and also style of sourcing for me. And then I think like sourcing, because when I was roasting at the shop up north, like sourcing, I didn't even touch sourcing. So I think as we've grown our roasting business, sourcing has been something that like I've really like got to explore on my own. Which has been really cool. And then, you know, we've got great companies locally like Yellow Rooster, who like have such great relationships with the producers, and then they're able to pass that on to us because we know them personally. So as far as roasting style, of course, you know, every roaster has to get into their Scott Rao phase. So I like bought up and read all his books.
Oh yeah, we have to agree with everything he says, and then at some point we have to deconstruct and disagree with
Exactly.
everything he says.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to deconstruct at some point.
And
so
then you gotta lend it to the next roaster that asked you for the book and never see it
100%,
again.
because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, like there are certain principles of his that are literally like some of my commandments that I have to do. Like
Yeah.
the rate of rise shall always be dropping. You know, like it's just like certain things that I actually, the science of it backs it up and everything. And I'm actually like, I'm a big Scott Rao fan, Rayo Rao, however it's pronounced. I should know that since I'm actually a big fan of his.
sounds like it.
Yeah, no, I really am. And like you should see, like I have notebooks of notes that I've written just from podcasts listening to of his and stuff too. And I just think he's may not have the best delivery in his message, but his knowledge is almost like unprecedented, I think.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to take from people like that and stuff too. And there's other people you can grab inspiration from.
For sure. Yeah. I read all of his books. I did one of his roasting courses online. That's how I really got like my start in my like philosophy of roasting. And still, again, same here, like use a lot of those principles today when I roast. A few years into roasting though, I read a book by Rob House, and I really took a lot from him as well. Scott Rao, I think, is great for the technicality of roasting, and really like understanding your roast curves. I loved how Rob Host's book was just like, here's how these different roasting practices that I've done have affected the way that the cup tastes. And really, like, that's kind of what matters. I mean, how you get there, a lot of times, Scott Rao's principles work well. But like what matters when you're tasting is how does it taste? How can I effectively change this with how I change my roast. So I've kind of blended the two of those together, and then also just like, some observations of coffees that we've roasted over the years and what works and doesn't work. And
I mean, I think that's the key to being great at what you do. I'll probably quote this all the time, but Neil Peart is a drummer for a band called Rush. I don't know if you're familiar with them, do you? Okay. My favorite band of all time. And people would ask him, like, why are you considered the best rock drummer of all time? He goes, because I didn't try to emulate anybody. He goes, but I took inspiration from 100 different people.
Right.
He's just like, I found something I liked in Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich and John Bonham, and he's like, I didn't emulate them. I took those inspirations, and then I kept taking lessons. Like, you might think you're an expert at something, but it doesn't mean you can't get better at another thing. So he's like, I didn't know how to do jazz. I took lessons on jazz, and incorporated that into our prog rock, sessions and stuff. And if the guy who's called the professor for a reason is still learning, like, who am I to say, like, I shouldn't read the next book, or to say that one person already has it 100% right. And not just that, you don't want to just be a clone of somebody else, right? For sure. Which is great. Like, you guys football fans at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with, like, the Shanahan tree and the McVay tree? Yeah. So it's like the coaching staffs that go through this. It's like everybody's running, 50% of the NFL is running the same offensive system at this point. At some point, somebody's going to have to come out with something new, right? Yep. And the same thing could be with roasting, where there might be that new thing that gets unlocked. I don't know where it's going to happen, but it might.
Yeah.
But that's good. And then you'll have, she can come after Nate the Great and figure out how to roast from you. So
yeah, I'm going to look at your curves and just try to replicate that.
Well, and I think, like, it's important that we've come away with that as we get this new roaster. Like, we're switching from a propane gas roaster to an electric air roaster. Like, our curves are not going to look the same.
Yeah.
So knowing those principles and being able to taste coffee is going to be very important.
Yeah, you're still going to have some of the general curve. You want it to hit a certain point. You want your bean color to be, the same as it was before that, and it's going to come down in the cup. And after that, you're a talented roaster. You're going to understand, all right, this is maybe taste this way. What happened in the curve on these new roasters that I can adjust? So a little adjustment phase in that, but it's also like, it's part of the fun of it, right?
For sure,
And if you're sourcing good green coffee anyways, even if you only roasted it to 85% of your capacity, it's still going to be good coffee. Yeah. And it's still going to be better than 90% of the coffee that's being served out there these days. So.
Yeah. I actually think this I think was said by Scott Rao, but basically, like, you don't have the ability as a roaster to make great or bad coffee better, but you do have the opportunity to ruin a coffee. So
no pressure, though.
Yeah, right. No pressure. Gosh, yeah. And I think I agree with that. And I think the only way you can make a decent coffee a little better is in the process that she does, where you're sorting out, you're picking out the defects and stuff that might have been in there, which is natural. It happens. Some people leave them in. Some people take the extra step and do that. And I think that's something that has also separated you guys in your coffee, is somebody might have the same exact coffee, may have had the same roasting principles, that didn't take that extra step to pick out any Quakers or any bug-bitten ones and stuff. It's something that we try to do as well. It gets harder and harder the bigger you grow.
Totally.
But it's a necessary step in that cup quality and to actually represent the farmer's work, properly. So
for sure.
Yeah. So did have a couple quick questions for you guys too. Some, give me your coffee hot take.
Oh man. Not the same thing.
Yeah, have to be different. I got two of you in here, so.
Okay. I'm like, I might need a second to think about it, but coffee hot take.
Try to make it as mean as you want or as nice as you want. Think about that. But what's your go-to order when you visit a cafe then?
Okay.
Start with something easy then.
Yeah.
I like an iced coffee, especially living in Florida, or a cold brew.
Black or with cream and a syrup?
Usually black. If I'm feeling something a little extra, I love when there's a good espresso tonic on the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a cortado, like brown sugar maybe.
Okay.
And then like iced latte if it's a hot day.
Yeah. You gonna walk in and ask for Nana's drink?
Yeah. You guys got Nesquik in here?
You guys got Nesquik and some old Folgers that's been sitting on the shelf for 9 months at least.
Yeah.
Okay, who has a better playlist out of you two?
Oh my. I think they're both pretty good, actually.
Okay.
I think we both, I don't know, we listen to a lot of the same music.
Grace does have a curated Roastery playlist.
I
Yeah?
do. It's got, like, Geese on there. Are you familiar with Geese?
Not.
New band out of Brooklyn. They're kind of
Okay.
taking over the, like, indie rock scene right now.
All right, indie rock's coming back. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Fontaine's DC.
Okay.
They're from Ireland, from Dublin. I like a lot of rock music and, like, what's going on in rock right now. And,
Okay. Into the modern
in the UK.
indie
like,
rock stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about what's on your playlist?
We have a lot of overlap. I'm very into like new age rock. I love like The Strokes and Radiohead. But I'm also into like Irish and British rock right now. Yeah, that's basically what I'm listening to these days.
Okay. What's the most memorable cup of coffee you ever had? Not the best, but what's one you remember?
I have one I remember when I was working at the shop up in Ohio. That was kind of my intro to coffee and specialty coffee. And so I was just like, let me just find some coffees online and try out a few. And so I got a natural Ethiopia from Yirgacheffe from Heart Roasters, which is like the cliche introductory coffee, the blueberry coffee that everyone has. But I do remember
cliches
it.
for a reason. I hate it when it's not that you just people. It's cliche. It's good for a reason,
Yeah.
right? It's.
I mean, I remember it. I remember making it. I made it on a Kalita Wave at the shop.
Wow,
And I remember
how you brewed it.
I
Remember
do.
your ratio too.
Probably 1 to 16. It was 2017, so you know.
Oh yeah, might have been 6.5 to 1. A little more tea like.
But I remember tasting it, and it just like blew my mind. I was just like, "Wow, this is crazy."
You have a memorable one that just sticks
Honestly, one that sticks with me is when Esteban, we went to Elevation, and
Aw.
seriously, the Americano was so fun. I think it was a red fruits.
out? Oh my gosh, it probably was.
And
yeah.
the way he prepared it, I've had red fruits, I've cupped red fruits, but the way that like kind of brought it to life, and it didn't just, for me, red fruits kind of, this is my hot take, I'll tell you this.
Okay, let's go.
Red fruits, co-ferment, I'm sorry everyone, taste to me like the Flintstones hard vitamins that
That Flintstone vitamin is still working in my body since 1986. So okay, it's fighting away everything.
don't like that flavor personally.
Okay.
That specific flavor, because
I
it reminds me
apologize
of
for
that.
anybody else who's roasted it to make it taste like that.
However, when Esteban did it, it was such a special experience, and I think we walked out of there like shaking. We were so overcaffeinated
Oh my gosh,
because
that's
he
the
just let
best
us try
feeling.
everything, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best feeling. Honestly, I have an experience with Esteban that was very much like that when he worked at a different cafe and I'd visit him. Honestly, one of my most memorable experiences was with him in general when he worked at Blind Tiger back in the day. But when he was working at Foundation, same thing. They had like, I kind of went up and ordered my normal drip and a cortado or something. I like to have something there, get the drip to go, and I take it back to work. But then he was just like, hey, you got a few minutes? Like, I want to make something special for you, you know? And that was it. He had like this Ethiopia in the back. It was just literally just like lemon lime. You know, it was so good, but it had like a sparkling acidity to it that was so good. I'll never forget that cup of coffee. Even though I remember my first Yirgacheffe, just like you did, it was one that my brother-in-law and I actually roasted. And I actually thought he put blueberries in my cup. I had no idea that he did not put blueberries in my cup. So I remember those two, but I will never forget that one in the cafe experience because I think it's that other thing where you have that person that you feel they want to do something special for you and they deliver on the specialness to it. It actually just, it becomes memorable. Like, I can't say it's the best one I've ever had, but I'll never forget that one. I've had a lot of Ethiopias, a lot of great Ethiopias, but you remember the experience that goes behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she just had her hot take. Oh, go ahead, you.
I remember emailing Heart Roasters a couple months later because it was not on their website anymore, and be like, when are you getting this coffee back?
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
Never
we get a
coming back.
lot of people asking like, when does this come out? When does that one come out?
Yep.
You know, and it's always like the small releases that we do that
Exactly.
are super expensive.
Yep.
you know?
Totally.
And I'm like, I wish I could get those back right now. One day we'll get them back, you know. And it's funny, Red Fruits is one that we've had it twice. It's the one we take to festivals, we take everywhere. People like their jaw drops over that one. So that was a pretty hot take there to say.
I know. And that was like my initial thought the first time it was like when I got introduced to co-ferments, I think, was through that coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just, to me, tastes like the red Flintstone hard vitamin that you're like gotta chomp on.
Do the Flintstone vitamins actually taste different? The purple one and the red one and the orange one?
I don't know that they actually did, but in my head, maybe they did as a
They
kid.
did.
Okay.
And when it switched to the gummies that they offered, I took that every time. I did not want to have to chomp on those
I'm not
anymore.
gonna lie, I don't want to chomp on those ones either.
No.
So, no. They did their job, though. Yeah. Coffee hot take, you're delaying.
All right. The one that comes to my mind, personal philosophy. If I go to a cafe and they are not a roaster themselves, then for me it makes sense to get one of your craft drinks, no matter how much milk is in it. Because I don't want to go to like out of my way to a cafe just to be served DAC roasters that I could order online.
I got you. Okay.
So I want to see how you as a shop make your drinks, serve it to me how you want.
I love that.
That's
That
my
goes
hot
into the
take.
creativity, and that's where I feel like every step of the coffee chain is a creative outlet. The roaster the farmer from planting the coffee, that's a creative outlet. He's creating this thing from the ground. The people who pick it, the people who sort it, getting it over to America for us to roast it, that's a creative outlet. For the barista to present it, they're the last line of defense to make sure this great coffee that 50 hands already touched and did good, it's their job to deliver on that promise. It's like baseball. You have the closer that comes in. You have to get the save at the end of the game, and it's bases loaded. It's like, can you strike the guy out or not? And the barista has that last thing. So you doing that, but you're right. You could go. You can brew a DAC coffee, great, but you want to know, what did the barista create? What kind of concoction? Oh, you got this really cool, nice tonic drink or whatever, or something fun. I want to try that. Yeah, I love a good fun drink. We've always had those on our menus at Elevation too, and you get those people that, the black coffee drinkers, which I am one of them too. I want a fun drink every once in a while too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coffee is culinary. Coffee should be spread out across, the spectrum of the culinary thing, because it has the most aroma and flavor characteristics of anything in the culinary world. So why not create those espresso old fashions and all the fun drinks that are out there? So yeah. And guys, your story is inspirational. It really is. From going to school to doing a job that you got a degree in, to quitting it to do this other thing you feel like you wanted to do, that's inspiring. I have a daughter that's in the same boat. She's a creative. This is a podcast that I want her to listen to hear your guys' story, because she in that same boat. Like, do I just chase this one thing, or do I go to school for it, or do I go to school for something general? And I really want her to chase the passions and the dreams, because again, this is it. This is what we got. Like, you can go make a lot of money doing something else. It's not going to bring your soul happiness that the thing you feel like you're put on this planet to do is. And you guys are doing that. I think it's inspirational. I think people out there are gonna get inspiration from that. What's one last thing that you could tell the viewer on this, who is maybe struggling with that? Maybe they're sitting in their cubicle for 10 years now, and they're like, I can't make the leap. I'm scared to make the leap. Like, what would you tell them? I know that's kind of heavy. That's big, but the world is out there.
Yes.
Stuck in that, and they want to do something. And there's a difference. And my coach always says, there's a lot of people who want to do something, and they'll do it. There's a lot of people who want to do something.
For sure.
And I think part of the goal is to get those people who want it to stop tire kicking and actually get to the wanted spot.
Yeah. Like, get your spark back. I think that's like part of the creativity that we're allowing ourselves to experience and do, even though it took a lot of sacrifices to get here. It just outweighs all of that once you get to do the thing that you love. And of course there's risk involved, so don't take that as like just immediately drop everything and quit your job and just like jump into something without knowing what you're doing. But I really do think that the freedom that you find in maybe creating a job for yourself, working for yourself, and then the community of people that we found in coffee has just been everything to us. It really beats working at home alone, like contracting jobs and like doing Zoom calls all day. So for me, it's definitely been worth it. We've met a ton of amazing people through coffee, and like we got to come to Tampa today to do a coffee event. And like
you got to speak at it.
it was awesome.
Special guest.
And see Michael from Unblended too, and just taste different coffees.
And just the other coffee people that came through from Sarasota, from Palm Harbor, from Tampa, St. Pete. Just another one was from Brooksville. Like, they came from all over different counties.
Yes.
To come see you speak. you know?
It was such a great event, and it was really inspiring to meet those people too, and hear like, oh, I'm on my Link roaster in my garage or whatever stage that they're at right now, because it's just like takes me back to where we were. And I know that it's a blessing that we got to start as young as we did. And if we had let it go on further, I don't know what we would have done. Maybe eventually it would have been like a design studio or something else. I think like that itch to do something creative is inside of us, and like
100%. Yeah.
I don't think that we would have stayed in those desk jobs forever. But do you have anything to add on there?
Yeah, the one thing I've been like preaching to myself lately, as we've had to make big decisions, and like, I mean, you know, this whole entire process, we've had to make leaps of faith. But I just keep saying to myself, like, your growth is directly correlated to the amount of risk that you're willing to take.
For the people in the back.
Yeah. And like, especially, you know, when it came time for me, you know, I was like, oh, I didn't quit, but, you know, do I look for a new job, or do we just go in on this? And I was just thinking about like, what we've built so far has been so cool and so fun, and I'm so passionate about it. Like, it feels much more comfortable right now for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna go take another desk job and make a modest salary and like be very, you know, comfortable, even though you're not necessarily comfortable in a 9-to-5 job.
There's no security.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Like,
kind of what we learned.
Especially at an agency where every quarter they're doing
Keep in mind,
layoffs.
it was a corporate job, but there was layoffs every quarter,
Yeah.
basically, and then COVID hit right after it, and literally our corporate office went from like over 300 people to 75 people.
Crazy.
I'm not making that cut. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of the VPs are losing their job. Nobody else is in there, and they're going to keep the you know, people doing the data entry and stuff that has to get done. That's kind of it. Everybody in the middle is going to probably be gone. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, knowing that, like, it's kind of like what kind of risk do you want to take? Like, do you want to take the risk to build your own thing where you get to work with your wife every day and like, you know, get to meet all these people and work with all the people that you love and build something, or is like the risk of like taking another, you know, 9-to-5 job and maybe you lose it again? Yeah, we chose to do our own thing, and we're happy about it. So.
No, it's inspiring, and I'm happy that you guys did, because I got to meet you guys. You're fantastic people. I look forward to seeing everything you guys do in coffee in the future. Keep speaking, keep talking, and just keep roasting great coffee and stuff. So, guys, give it up for them. Thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. Where can they follow you guys? Where can they find you?
We're on Instagram at Leatherback Roasters, and if you want to check out our coffee, it's leatherbackroasters.com, and that's leatherback like the sea turtle.
And that's the logo too, right? The sea turtle?
It is.
It is.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.